Hi, I'm Bret Shuford. I'm the Broadway life coach. How I got here today, I grew up in Southeast Texas. I did community theater as a kid. I was one of those people who at 6 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. And that's a very odd thing for a lot of kids. But I knew I wanted to be on Broadway, and from that moment on, it was tunnel vision. And I did everything. I was in community theater, I was drama club president, I was choir president, I was in dance competitions, I did it all. And then went to college. My first 2 years, I went to a BFA program at University of Oklahoma, then transferred to a liberal arts school at Wagner College. So I got a little bit of both, which I think is always a unique perspective. And then went right into I got my equity card right out of college, and I did a show at Paper Mill Playhouse and started working regionally, and then booked my first Broadway show, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. And it was that moment, I was doing Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I was super excited. It was like, that phone call, I was crying. And then I showed up at rehearsal, and I started to realize that Broadway wasn't just about talent. And I always had this sort of vision that Broadway was just, the most talented people get there, and then the most talented people there win Tonys. But then I got there and I realized, this is about money, it's commercial. How do I reconcile my passion for theater and my art for this financial, commercial aspect of making money and making it a business? And it was something I just had never thought about until I was there. And I thought to myself, if I'm thinking that, other people are thinking that. And I wanted to help other people, understand the aspect of the business, how to maximize their potential within that, but also how to not be disappointed and let down when they realize that it isn't just about talent, and that magic, which is still there, but the magic starts to dissipate when you realize it's really about selling tickets and making money. And how do you keep the magic even when the numbers are what people are thinking on? So I started to really explore how I could help others, how I could help myself reconcile that, and started the Broadway Life Coach. Well, my mission as the Broadway Life Coach has always been to help actors, no matter where they are in the game, find fulfillment no matter what they're doing. So fulfillment, I believe, is not at the other end of achieving something. I think if we find fulfillment now, then achieving those things will be a result of being in a place of fulfillment. So my goal is always to help actors understand that being present, accessing what they're capable of today, and not waiting for their happiness to be on the other end of accomplishing something, because life is too short. And my big catchphrase is, success doesn't lie in the results you make. It lies in the actions you take. And if every day you're taking action towards what it is you want, you're being successful. Because if we wait and we wait for these things to happen to feel successful, we're going to constantly feel discouraged. So it's possible to feel fulfilled today. You just need the right tools. Yeah. So that's my mission, is to help people realize that we're all in this together. This idea of competition can dissipate, right? We can still be motivated and get what we want without stepping on others, and we can find, no matter how good the show is that we're in, or if we're a swing or not, we can find the joy within that, so that we create an environment and a community of fulfilled artists. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was my first Broadway show, there were two people who worked on that show who I'd worked with previously at a regional theater. And one was the music director, who I had done Cats with. So, I got my equity card working with somebody who was from my hometown in Texas, who was the choreographer. There's always somebody that kind of ties into projects, right? And then I went into Beauty and the Beast, which was my second Broadway show. And while I was doing Beauty and the Beast, they were auditioning to do Little Mermaid on Broadway. So I was working for Disney. I built these relationships doing Beauty and the Beast. And then I went in for Little Mermaid, and they cast me as the understudied Prince Eric. And then I got to do that for 2 years. and originate a Broadway show, originate a cast recording, all those things you dream of. And then right after Little Mermaid, we're always working no matter what level. You're always trying to get that work. And I ended up getting cast offer only in an off-Broadway musical called Make Mine Manhattan. And I met this amazing songstress, actress, dancer named LaQuette Charnel. And my life has never been the same. And I did the national tour of South Pacific for Lincoln Center. And then I did, and that was fascinating because the music director was somebody I had done theater with in 2001. And so really, I think you can start to see that the relationships you build and the trust you build over time is really how longevity happens in this career. And it really is up to you to stay in touch with those people and to nurture those relationships. But I feel like so much of my career is owed to the people who trust me and I trust them, and we've built these really strong relationships. I was working with an actress, let's call her Jessica, and she was currently in the ensemble swing for the Broadway production of Wicked. She was so discouraged, and it's amazing to think, wow, Wicked, you're in this hit show and you've got job security, you call that a government job. But she was really unhappy and didn't understand why. And so we started digging in a little bit of what was going on. She's like, I just don't want to swing. I want to be playing principal roles. I know that I'm capable of it, but I feel like I don't want to leave this job. I'm afraid to leave this job, right? So we worked on what tools she needed in order to feel confident to leave. What is it that's going to make you feel safe to leave? Not so much like on what if I leave, like the fear of what happens if I do leave, but what happens, what is the confidence you need in order to do so? She left. 3 months later, booked the principal role on a national tour of American in Paris. Okay. I also worked with an actress who had been in several Broadway shows, but was really struggling going to auditions. She was like, casting directors they don't like me. They don't want to see me. Every time I go in, I can tell. And I was like, well, what tells you that? What information are you getting from them that says, did they say to your agent, I don't like her? And she's like, no. I'm like, okay, so what did they say to you that makes you think, nothing? I can just tell. Okay, let's look at that. Well, why is that? Well, they don't want to give me what I want. They don't want to give me access. They hold the key. There was this whole idea about holding a key. I was like, what if they don't hold any key? What if there's no key? What if they're just a human being doing a job? And you get to come in the room and be like, what's up? How's your job going? You having a good day? Right? Can I, right? What if you just connect with them as a human being? Boom, she booked principal role in a brand new musical, won a Tony Award. Right? If all you think about and all you talk about is what you do, you are more than what you do. And so much of what we get stuck in is, I'm taking these classes, I'm meeting these people, I'm doing all these things, I can belt this now, I can sing these, I can dance these things, I can do it all. Why won't they cast me? And they're like, well, have you ever asked them, what's your favorite food? Do you ever go to Central Park and hang out? Do you do yoga? Like, what about the human? Because so much of what people are investing in is you as a person. And we forget that because we're thinking so hard about the craft. So you have to find the balance. And how do you get those tools? And how do you, and it's different for everybody. It's not always going to be the same. So what is important is that you start to realize, what is it that brings me joy as a human versus what is it that brings me joy as an artist, and find the place where those two can meet.
And what is the value?
And what I do is help you realize that your happiness lies today. You can find your happiness right now in this moment, which is actually going to make everything so much more fun. You're no longer nervous about meeting people because it's just a journey. There's no end in sight. The end, these are all just stops along the way, every single job. And along the way, you get to meet people and they get to join you on that journey. But if you're just thinking about yourself and accomplishing these things, you're missing out on all these other little paths you can take. So you just graduated, you got your BFA, and guess what? You now own a business, and no one prepared you for it, right? Owning a business is what you are. You are now the owner of Actor, Actress, LLC. So you need to understand how to market. You need to understand how to sell what it is you do without being salesy and without being businessy, right? Because relationships need to be organic and they need to be natural. And it's important that you first start finding a community. Where is your community? You know, acting classes, acting studios that you can start to immerse yourself in and find other people who are starting where you are, right? Working with a coach can help you personalize and funnel a lot of your energy so that you're directing it where it needs to be directed more efficiently. Okay, what are some marketing tools that you haven't tried that you can try? Who are the people, and the long list of people that you want to know, right? We get a lot of people, there's a lot of people in this business who want to work with you and get your commission, but are they really people you should trust? There's a lot of people who say they're casting directors, a lot of people who are directors, but you really want to know who are the trustworthy people so that you're guiding yourself towards longevity, right? What we want is to think about your career as a long-term career. So everything you do now isn't just to get to that first thing. Let's think about how do we get longevity and start now by being really clear on what it is you want, how to get there, maybe even starting with just the low-hanging fruit, right? Who are the people I already know, and how do I strengthen those relationships? Starting there will start to sort of build the roots you need to grow the tree. Are you owning your space on the internet? Do you have a website? Are you doing social media? To me, the fact that actors have access to all of those tools today, which we didn't have when I started, you need to be maximizing that. Create your own content. And people are always like, well, what do I create? Tell people about your favorite dish soap. It doesn't matter. Like, make a blog post about the things you like. Tell us who you are. Let us see your personality. That's one thing. I say create your own content. Number two, I guess I would say the second thing I would probably suggest is stop focusing on booking work. You will book work as a result of building relationships. Focus on relationships first. Every audition you go to, every time you go to a workshop, it's an opportunity to start a relationship. And a relationship will last so much longer than any show or any project that you work on. So build relationships, make that the point, right? And then the third thing is let go. How do I say this? You get what you expect, not what you want. Right? So if your expectation is that Broadway's hard, if your expectation is that being an actor is hard, which we're all taught, right? Our parents tell us, oh, you're going to such a hard career, right? Well, what do they know, first off? They've never tried it. And second, life is hard, right? We don't need other people telling us things are hard. If you expect that it's going to be hard, guess what you're going to get, right? But what if you expect that you're in this for the long haul? If you imagine your acting life is a long-term thing, then Broadway is just going to be one stop along the way. So you just expect that will probably happen. It's not the end of something, it's just one stop along the way. So if I'm expecting that Broadway is going to happen, what would I do today? What choices would you make today if you know it's going to happen? It's just a matter of when, not if.
Tell me about one of those things. What's something that I might do today?
You might... something you might consider doing today is going to a workshop, right? Making a target list. Always start with really pinpointing who it is you want to meet. A lot of times actors will go, I want to do it all. I want to do TV, film. I want to do modeling. I want to be an influencer. I want to blah, blah, blah. Like actors, and then all of a sudden you're trying to do all these things and everyone's like, I don't know who you are. What if you're just like, you know what, in the next 3 months, I want to book a regional theater gig. Where are the top 5 casting directors casting the regional theaters that I want to work at? And target them. Where are they at? What workshops can I take? What classes can I take? What shows are they casting? What's their office mailing address? Can I send them something, right? So just starting to focus a little bit on who it is you want to meet, because building relationships is a lot easier to build with 5 people than 100.
That's awesome. And so one thing that I want to
Hi.
one thing I want to bring together is that idea of, to me, the honing of your craft, right? So taking other classes, so that meets also helps you network. It helps you make sure that you're feeling like you're constantly part of it. Like you're not just kind of sitting and waiting, you're taking action.
Yeah.
It also meets the FYA mission, right? Of providing your services and dance services. So always be taking classes. So the idea of honing your craft, I'd love you to talk about that idea.
Yeah, sure. So the thing that I always speak when I'm speaking to any client is that the work comes first. You can't start selling something that you don't really know if it works, right? You got to know you got it. You got to stand behind what you say. Because if you say, oh yeah, I can sing a high C just because you want the job, and then you go to sing a high C, that's like saying, these drugs are supposed to help me cure cancer, and then all of a sudden, do you think people are going to trust you? That you're going to heal them? That you're going to help them? Right? You have to stand behind what it is. Know that you can do it. Know that you believe in that. The only way you're going to do that is by practicing. It's by doing the work. The work always comes first. Yeah.
How does the work help my soul? How does doing the work help me?
Well, I mean, we all came into this business, and we always have to remember why we started here, right? The reason I wanted so passionately at 6 years old to be on Broadway, I thought it was to be famous, right? But when I really dug down to the core of it, it's because I want to help people. I want to help people see themselves differently. I want people to see the world differently. Because through seeing things differently and understanding other people and other points of view, we can make change. Right? So if you remember why you started doing this, and the only way you're going to do that is by doing the work, right? When you dig into character work or you work on your voice and you make that instrument so strong that people have no choice but to listen to you or hear you sing or watch you dance, then you can get that message across.